What's up YouTubers, Johnny DIY here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to replace the valve cover gasket on Honda CRV, Civic, Accord, pretty much any 4-cylinder Honda that you have. It's going to be about the same process. Specifically, it's going to be the exact same process on all the K24 engines, which are in the 2015 to 2019 CRVs and the 2013 to 2017 Honda Accords. Those will be exactly, those are the Earth Dreams engine, the 2.4 liter. But if you guys are new to my channel, please do me a favor and click the subscribe and notification bell so you can get all my new videos. All right, let's get to this one. It's the Earth Dreams 2.4 liter, but it's going to be the same process on the 1.5 liter. It looks a little different, but the same process. And it's really going to be the same process on pretty much any Honda. I got this kind of short adjustable shower rod that I use. You could also use a stick, but it allows you to prop open the hood a lot further than it usually does, so that'll really help you. You could take the hood off, but I wouldn't do that unless you mark your locations. It's a lot easier to just prop it up like that. That's just a little quick note. And I also want to say that I am going to include all the links down in the descriptions to all the replacement parts and gaskets, as well as all the other tools and supplies I'm going to be using today, so you guys can check those out for me. Thanks. Now we need to take off this little cover, and it's just a few 10 millimeters. This is just a beauty cover. Just 5-10 millimeters. This plastic cover comes off. You can see your coils, and then if you take this little 10 millimeter off, pull the coil off, that's where you're going to change your spark plugs, underneath each of these. You can test those, check those out. We replaced these not long ago, but see, it's really easy to change your spark plugs. You should do that every 150 to 200,000. Then this wiring harness right here should pull out if we pull to the left. Just kind of pressure fit in there. And then this right here should snap. And we'll go ahead and take these off too. Gee, maybe cricket. Okay, with those removed, now we can pull out these coils. This should unsnap too, right here. Just a little clip right there. Snap that. You just wiggle these coils side to side and pull up, and they'll loosen up from the spark plug. That's why you put a little dielectric grease on the end of these. On the end of these right here, and they won't get stuck on there. This cover right here should come off just by pulling. Chances are your valve cover's probably leaking because they almost always are. You spray a little WD-40 on the connections, the rubber, just to loosen it up, or a tiny bit of liquid dish soap with water. That helps loosen it up. All these kind of connections. And then on the wiring harness down here, there's one of those clips that you gotta push in and jiggle that out. Same thing right here. If you press on the underside, these little side clips, just press on one side and then twist it, like pry it like that, and it'll pull through the other side. So just press down on one side with your flat head and it should pull right out if you twist it like that. Then let's see, one hose right here on the back of the valve cover, and this clip right here on the front goes on the valve cover. There's one little button in the front right here, and then push to the left, and then it slides on the clips. Start on the outside to loosen the valve cover. You start on the inside when you tighten it. A bunch of these little 10 millimeters. Then you can go like diagonal, like a figure-8 pattern, but these things are barely even tightened on there. Oh, it's not that big a deal. Sneaky little bad. Okay, so on this 2.4 liter, I think there is 9. That'd be sneaky.
Dual purpose bolt, I think.
See that? That's a sneaky number 10. Remember that little plastic cover that snapped on? Okay, we got it off. Go and pull your gasket off too. For sure. We got cracking already, look at that. Now before we put the new valve cover back on, we want to go ahead and clean all around the surface around where our new gasket's gonna go. And see right here in the corners, there's some old dried up like gasket maker, RTV kind of type stuff. You want to scrape that off and clean that up. We're gonna take note of where that was because we're gonna have to put a little bit back there, but I'll show you guys that in a minute after I get it cleaned up. Just try not to get any of that dirt into the engine. And if you use a razor blade, a metal one, be real careful to not gouge the surface. I'll put some links in the description to some plastic ones that are really good so you don't gouge any of the metal. Okay, then we're gonna take our new gasket for the valve cover. Here's the part number on the Beck Ardenley one. This is the same thing, it's got that little tab right here we line up. So the gasket's kind of funny. You want to get it like this so that these bends right here on the corner, those are gonna go on this horseshoe side. So the long part right here goes up into the valve cover. Those little tabs, they didn't really correlate to anything I could see. You just go around, feed it around. It's got a lot of little bends in it. I think that's why they're not lasting as long. Either that or it's just bad material. Then on the inside underneath of the valve cover, you're gonna have to find this little seal in the middle, and your new kit should have come with another one, and this just presses in there. It goes into the middle. I think it must feed the, I don't know, maybe the PCV. And a quick note about the spark plug tube gasket holes right here. They are not replaceable, so if you start to leak right here, you're gonna have to buy the whole new valve cover, the whole new plastic valve cover from Honda. So be aware of that. They're not serviceable. Sometimes they used to have a nut and bolt right here, but not on this one. So now it's time to put the RTV on. I'm using Ultra Black. I recommend Ultra Black, Ultra Gray, or the Honda brand gasket maker. So there's 6 points we gotta put it on. Right here. Here you can see there's a little bit of a mating right there. And just wanna put a little dollop, and then right here in the corner, and over here, this is where the timing cover meets the head. Little dollop there. And then same thing in the back corner, and the same thing as we did right here, 2 in the back. And you want to put the valve cover back on within like 5 minutes of that RTV.
Like a glove.
Press it down a little bit to seat that RTV. Then we'll start hand tightening our valve cover bolts back on. These ones you need to do from the inside outwards again. Remember that funny bolt? It goes in that funny spot in the middle. I think there's 10 bolts. Get them all finger tight. Okay, so once you got it finger tight, then we're gonna go ahead and tighten it. And there's a sequence I've got. Pause that. 1, then we go diagonal. This one, 3. And I'm just doing this very lightly because we'll torque this down in a second. You can do it just by, it's only about less than 10 pounds, but so you can do it by hand without a torque wrench, but, and then the 2 end ones. And then the same pattern, we're gonna go ahead and torque it down. It only gets torqued to about 7 foot-pounds, which isn't very tight. Now you're not going to want to start your car for at least 3 hours or leave it overnight, because that RTV needs to stiffen up before you run it. Now we just need to start buttoning things up, snapping things back into place, connecting hoses. And with these clamps, if you can get them back in the same spot, it's usually best, because there's a little indentation in the rubber. All our coil on plugs. Good idea to put a little bit of that silicone grease, dielectric grease, on these boots, and a little right in the middle on the tip of the spark plug. That'll keep these boots from seizing on the inside. Make them a lot easier to come off next time. And dielectric grease doesn't affect any of electrical connections. Don't have to worry about that. And this snaps on. Connector back here in the back. And this thing gets kind of wedged in, hooks in, remember? And a couple of those wiring harness clips go back into the holes. Coils get bolted back on. This snaps in. Now we're gonna take a couple minutes and double check our work. Make sure everything's plugged in and snapped in and all your hoses are where they should be, because you will miss something, I'm sure. Little beauty cover goes over. Bolts down, it's got 5 bolts. I waited overnight for that gasket to set up. Now we can go ahead and start it up. And I just got back from a little test drive and it all looks good, no leaks. Just keep an eye on it. If you develop any leaks, you could maybe re-tighten that a little bit where it's leaking and you might be able to get away with it. Or you can loosen it up a little bit and re-tighten it. But it should be good as long as you follow that torque spec, around 5 to 7 foot-pounds. But hopefully you guys don't have any issues. If you guys are new to my channel, please do me a favor, click the subscribe and notification bell so you can get my new videos. Any questions or comments, go ahead and leave those down below. Give the video a thumbs up for me, it helps me out. And thanks for watching Johnny DIY. Keep on doing it yourself, guys. Take care.